Right now, somewhere, a $1 billion team is losing to a country you would need a map to find. The favorites have superstars. The underdogs have a group chat and a dream. In 90 minutes, the giant will be crying into its trophies, while a nation that fits inside one stadium throws a parade. This is not rare. This is basically every weekend. So here's a fun way to start a fight at any party. What if football is mostly luck? Football is the biggest sport on earth. Billions watch. Whole countries call in sick for it. And it might be the most unpredictable game we have ever invented. You know the story. A tiny team shows up, parks the bus, and defends like their rent is due. 90 minutes of pure suffering. Then they poke in one goal and walk off with a win over a team worth more than some small nations. It feels illegal. It happens constantly. Here is the annoying part. The favorites usually are better. They pass more, they run more, they have the fancy haircuts and the sponsorship deals. They boss the entire game. And then they lose 1-0 to a team that touched the ball twice, once by accident. Every other sport has a cheat code for this. Basketball drops 100 points a night, so the better team floats to the top. Football looked at that idea and said, no thanks.
Nope.
And the reason is one tiny stubborn number. That number is the score. Goals are rare, painfully rare. Across a full season, both teams combined average around 2.6 goals a game. That comes from Chris Anderson and David Sally, who read thousands of matches so you do not have to, in their book, The Numbers Game. 2.5 goals in 90 minutes. That is less exciting than it sounds and way more important than it looks. Because when a match hangs on 2 or 3 moments, every moment becomes a monster. A shot clips a shin and loops in. A ball kisses the post and changes its mind. A keeper picks the worst possible second to forget how legs work. In a low-scoring game, a fluke is not a blooper. It is the final score. Now look at basketball. A lucky shot banks off the glass. And nobody cares because there are 90 more coming. The flukes cancel out. Football gives luck no room to hide, so luck just puts on a jersey and starts playing. There is a science word for this. Variance. Fewer chances means the result swings harder than it should. The rarer the goal, the louder the chaos. So how much of this game is actually a dice roll? Turns out you can measure it. Some physicists actually did. Ben-Naim and his team at Los Alamos and Boston University went through more than 300,000 games across 5 major sports. They measured the upset frequency. Plain version, how often the weaker team wins. A pure coin flip sits at 50%. A sport decided only by skill sits near 0. American football and basketball came in around 36%. The big dogs mostly hold. Then soccer strutted in at the top of the chart, around 45%. Read that again slowly. In the most popular sport on the planet, the underdog wins almost half the time. That means football is only slightly more predictable than a coin you flip in the air. The best team walks out knowing that nearly 1 time in 2, the worst team wins anyway. This is not a glitch. This is the game running exactly as built. Now crank it up to a World Cup. 1 match. No rematch. No second leg to fix your mistakes. And this is the first World Cup with 48 teams, which means an extra knockout round, which means more coin flips stacked on top of coin flips. 1 weird bounce, and 4 years of work packs its bags by dinner. The maths does not care about your trophy cabinet. It just keeps flipping. But here is the twist nobody wants. Skill did not disappear. It just got a lot quieter than you think. A group in Germany, led by Fabian Wunderlich, studied over 7,000 goals from years of top-flight football. They checked each one for a lucky bounce, a deflection, a random ricochet. The result is genuinely unhinged. In almost every second goal, about 46%, luck lent a hand. So nearly half the goals you have ever screamed at, leaped off your couch for, ugly cried over, were partly a coin landing your way. Sit with that for a second. And still skill sneaks through over time. A separate study found that around 40% of how a team does over a season is real skill. The other 60% is luck. Luck alone can drag a team up or down the table by about 2 spots, turning a title into a shrug or a shrug into a parade. Skill is real. It is just badly outnumbered. So yes, the Giants really are better. Over 100 games, they win. They just cannot promise you this one. 1 match is a coin toss. A season is that coin flipped enough times that the heavier side finally wins the argument. So picture the giant again, dragging its suitcase, its trophies rattling around like they are embarrassed to be seen with it. It did not get worse overnight. It lost because football hands the little guy a loaded coin and lets him keep it in his pocket. That is not a bug. That is the entire reason you watch. If skill won every time, you would already know the ending. The minnows would stop dreaming. The group chats would go quiet. Half the planet would find a new hobby because there would be nothing left to argue about. Football stays enormous for one strange, beautiful reason. On any given day, the worst team you love can wreck the best team you fear. And nobody, not the coaches, not the physicists, not the coins spinning in the air, has the faintest idea which day that will be. Next time, the coin flips on you. What that final does to your actual heart